I love fall. It's the perfect time of year to plant up gorgeous containers that have kind of that warm, homey feel to them. And we recently were sent some pansies that are just absolutely stunning. Hi, I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings, and I always love to trial new plants. And in the fall, usually it's not the time of year when people are sending these new plants. So it was really a fun surprise when these Elegance Pansies showed up on our door. There's a lot of things about these that are just different and unique, I think, than other pansies that are currently on the market. These are actually genetics that come from Japan and have recently been acquired here in the United States. So there's two different series or color series within these pansies. So there is the Antonette collection, which is going to feature more of a lighter, subtle color palette. And then there is also the Twilight series, which are going to be your more brighter, darker, vivid colorations. The first thing we noticed when we were having these sitting in the greenhouse is that they were turning heads. Anytime one of our employees would walk past, they kept saying, "Heidi, what are those? Is that something we're gonna be carrying in the future?" And I simply told them it's a trial we're doing right now. We'll see how they do, and we'll see what the reaction is of those that see them. So what is it that stands out with these pansies that are different than other pansies we've grown? Well, one thing for sure is they have huge double blooms on them. The other nice thing is they're very ruffled on the edges of each of the petals. And this is, one color collection, and you'll notice how there's just some variation that goes on within this color palette. Now these are hardy down to zones 5 or 6, so they would be sold more as an annual, but they may overwinter in your area depending on where you live. Also too, they may set seed. Now, if this purple was to set seed in your garden, more than likely it probably wouldn't necessarily be a purple bloom. It could be any variation of the blooms that we're seeing here in this particular collection. But definitely the thing that really just is unbelievable to me is the flower size within these pansies. So I thought today we would go ahead and plant up a planter, and I probably should have paid more attention to just how big these plants were when I went to grab the pot, but we just grabbed this nice 14-inch container. And I thought it might look nice to actually use a heuchera as the backdrop. So putting this in the back of the container and then having the pansies planted in front. I thought that they might really coordinate well and pop well in this planter. So we'll see how many of them I can actually get fit into this pot. I mean, I'm sure I could fit them all in, but I don't want it to look crowded. So before we do that though, let's go ahead and take a look at the colors of the blooms. So we're going to start off with a Twilight collection, which has those really deep, rich, moody colors. We've got this gorgeous purple here. Also, sometimes purple is known as blue in the plant world. So beautiful purple blue blooms. We also have a nice, rich, deep burgundy wine. And these flowers are all edged with like a nice white border. So I think by having that white border on the edge of each of the petals, it really pulls that flower out, makes it really more noticeable or stand out more because it is framed in or edged in. And it really highlights too all of the ruffles that are going on. We've got more of a, I'm going to call it a yellowy, orangey, sunshiny kind of color, burgundy and that yellow mixed together. These two are edged in a nice white framing or edging on each of the petals. This one here must have 2 seeds in it because we're also seeing a little bit of the purple blooms as well. But this is just a really nice, rich, clean color. Another one of the beautiful purples, and you can see there's a lot of variation that goes on the purple plant. Some have a little bit more white, some are a little bit more purple, but very complementary, the colors within the plant. And then the last one we have here is another one that again has a couple different colors going on. There's almost some near black, like the purple is so dark it looks near black, some burgundy and some yellow. Just really rich, bold colorations here in the Elegance series. Now the next series, let me go ahead and remove these a second, and we'll take a look at the next series, which is called the Antonette series. These are a little bit more subtle, a little bit softer color palette. You can see here as we look at them as a full blend, you're still getting nice rich colors, but they're a little bit more subtle, a little bit lighter in color. So we've got a gorgeous peachy. Now these here, these don't have that white edging on them like the darker Elegance series do, but you're getting shades of peach and lavender and a little bit of burgundy. These all will get about 6 to 8 inches tall, so they're not going to get super big in your containers, just kind of that perfect size to edge a border or a sidewalk or to plant in your combinations. A nice butter yellow with a burgundy center, really pretty. Here's one that's more white with a deep, dark, near black coloration going on. There's also a little yellow mixed in. These do come from seeds, so that's why we are seeing a little bit of variation within each of these cups or each of these pots, is because probably a couple seeds got dropped in. And when they sell them, they're selling them as a mix, not by straight colors. So we are seeing a little bit of mixture of color within each of the series. Another just gorgeous white with some lavender and burgundy going on. But look how full that plant is. I mean, that's a lot of flowers, big flowers. It really fills out this plant really nicely. And here's another one, more whites and purples. There's a little bit of burgundy in there. But as you can notice, this color palette is just a little bit more subtle in its colors, not quite as vibrant, but still really beautiful blooms. So I think what I'm going to do when I'm going to plant up this container is, of course, I'm going to pick my favorite colors, but I'm going to mix a little bit of the darker tones with the lighter tones because I think they'll just play really well together. So let's go ahead and dig in this dirt and get planting. All right, so as mentioned, we're going to go ahead and just put that coral in the back because I think I'm going to really like how that dark foliage is going to just make all of these other colors just pop beautifully. The coral I'm actually using here is silver gumdrop. I love silver gumdrop because it's got nice deep purple undertones, and then on the top it's got a nice silver overlay. So it's just a beautiful combination, and I feel like is a great fall color. So let me go ahead and pull this out, and I'm just going to go ahead and plant that at the very back of the pot. We'd brought a bunch up here because I wasn't sure how many I would need or how much of a background I was going to want, but I want the focal of this pot to be these pansies, not so much the heuchera. We're going to use the heuchera just as an accent to help pull the pansy color out. So we're going to place that just in the back there. So right off, I mean, the first one that stood out to me was this gorgeous purple color, and that purple is going to look so beautiful with the deep coloration of the coral. And I'm going to basically plant these pot tight, so meaning the plants are going to be so tight to each other that there's not going to be a lot of need for soil to be filled in around the gaps. We're just going to have them just pot tight. Now, this is not something you would do in the spring, because in the spring when you plant, your containers are going to have all summer to grow. But here in Michigan in the fall, we're probably going to get 4, maybe 6 weeks of enjoyment in these here in the fall. So I don't need to worry about these plants getting really root bound. It's going to be there just for the aesthetics, for the looks of the flowers, and not needing to carry these through months and months of growing throughout the season. Now, I know for some of you that might seem a little bit wasteful. Why would you plant something that you're going to only enjoy for just a couple weeks, possibly a couple months? You know, we all kind of have our way of planting things, and I love just having a little fall look going on. What we'll probably do is I may leave them in the greenhouse over the winter. We'll see if they come back. If they do, awesome. We can bring it back out again in early spring. But that's not my full thought or goal for this container. Nice kind of a soft peachy color. Let's go in front of the purple with that one. I love that there's so many choices of colors. Like definitely there is a color for just about any color palette. This is more of a white. It's got that burgundy and dark, almost near black going on. We'll plant that one in front of this burgundy here. That will look good together. So we've got the darker to the back, the lighter kind of here in the middle, and I think I'm going to go ahead and get some of those darker colors right up front. I mean, look at that. Is that not just gorgeous? What do you think about these Elegance Pansies? Like, is this something that is striking to you? I mean, definitely they're different. Something that probably you haven't seen before, especially with these big, huge ruffled blooms. Does it look like a pansy in your opinion? And I would love to know, like, could you see yourself planting these? And another question I have is, we were talking about this earlier, is When do you plant your pansies? Are you a spring pansy planter or are you a fall pansy planter? I know that for us here at Garden Crossings, we have a spring set that we grow, which is in a totally different series than our fall series. So I don't know, are you do you plant your pansies in the spring or do you plant your pansies in the fall? All right, we're getting it really full. We got one spot here, so what are we going to put there? Let's see. You know, I think I'm gonna go with this one because it's got really deep, bright colored blooms. I guess deep and bright doesn't make sense together, but really nice bright colored blooms. And I think that's just gonna look gorgeous with that yellow and burgundy. So let's pop it in there and see. One thing I'm finding now that we have all these pansies planted in this pot, I did put that coral bell in the back, hoping for it to be something that would kind of make all of these pansies pop. But to be honest, that coral bell really is quite hidden in this container. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to see if I can move a few of these pansies around. And again, I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. I know most people are not gonna plant this many plants in your planter, but I wanna do this for the trial just to see how they do. So we're gonna put a few more coral bells in. And this is something, these are perennials. These are something that can be dug out and planted into the landscape once the season's over, if you should desire to do that. So we're just gonna tuck one more in there. Okay, there we go. Yeah, see, I think I like that a little bit better. It's showing off the silvery purple a little bit better of the coral bell. And I think that helps just kind of round the pot out and make it look really nice. I know a lot of times when you're doing a container, you're gonna set it on your porch. So you're looking at it as you're walking up your stairs, kind of looking down on it. And I think by adding those coral bells in, it just kind of helped round this container out and looks good. Now, if you find that your pansies are starting to slow down a little bit on blooms, this is especially if you're doing spring planting, you can go ahead and deadhead them. That will encourage more growth, more flowers. But literally, we've had these for probably about a month now. We've not done any trimming on them since we received them, and they just continue to push out more and more flowers. So I'd love your feedback. What do you think about these Elegance pansies? Is this something that would be of interest to you? Is it something you think looks kind of cool? I know for our team here at Garden Crossings, definitely is something that was turning heads and getting a lot of conversation started on, you know, what is that plant? So we're excited to trial these, and this might be something you might be seeing in the future at Garden Crossings. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. Thanks for watching. I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings.